إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتون إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد فإن خير حديث كتاب الله وخير حج محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. Brothers and sisters, I pray Allah the Almighty that Allah would bless us. I'd like to begin this khutbah with a dua of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. Allahumma inni a'udhu min ilm la yanfa'u. Oh Allah, I seek refuge with you from knowledge that don't benefit. I am grateful to Allah the Almighty to be Muslim. People like me and Imam Johari, my good friend, we weren't blessed like most of you to be born with Muslim parents. Alhamdulillah, Allah guided us to Islam. إِنَّكَ لَا تَهْدِي مَنْ أَحْبَبْتَ وَلَكِنَ اللَّهَ يَهْدِي مَنْ يَشَاءُ. You cannot guide those whom you love, but Allah guides to the straight path whomsoever He pleases. We just finished recently the month of Ramadan. And I want to show you how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teaches. He could have said, Kutiba alaykum as-siyam. Fasting is prescribed for you. But He added something. That's one message, but He added another message. Kama. Kama. Kutiba alaykum as-siyam kama kutiba alladhina min qablikum. La'allakum tattaqun. Why He do that? And I find this all throughout the Quran and the Sunnah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us something. We share this earth that Allah created, 196,940,000 square miles. We share it with 7,800,000,000 people all over this earth. Who are they? They're Christians. Some 2,200,000 Christians on this earth, 1,900,000,000 Muslims, 1,100,000,000 Hindu, 500 million Buddhists, and about 17 million Jews. We all share this planet. So Allah reminded us from the very beginning, Kama! Kutiba alaykum as-siyam, Kama! You're not the first one. You are not the first one. Those who came before you, Allah is telling you. وَأَنزَلَ Torah, and we sent down the Torah. فِيهَا هُدًى وَنُورٌ. In it is guidance and light. Allah is telling us something. الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ. And we gave him who? Isa alayhi salatu wa salam, al-Injil. فِيهِ هُدًى وَنُورٌ. In it is guidance and light. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is still telling us something. Consider this. Permitted for you, Muslim men. Permitted for you are the chaste women of the people of the book. Why? Why you can marry the chaste women of the people of the book? You can't marry any woman. You can marry Muslim women, and you can marry chaste women of the people of the book. Why? Permitted for you to eat the food of the people of the book. Why? Because they were given the same commandment. It's something for us to think about it. Think about this. The Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, ahabu salat ilallah, salatu Dawood. The most beloved prayer to Allah, the prayer of David. He came before us. He used to sleep 1/2 the night, used to pray 1/3 of the night, used to sleep 1/6 of the night. What? You know how many hours he prayed? That's 4 hours. Do the math. 4 hours standing and praying. The Prophet ﷺ always given some superiority, always given some preference to the prophets that came before. I talk about that later, maybe inshallah, maybe the next khutbah. But consider this. One of the most significant hadith is the hadith of Jibril. alayhi salatu wasalam, akhbirni an al-iman. What is iman? Jibril is asking the Prophet in front of people, what is iman? And tu'mina billah wa malaikatuh wa kutubihi, not kitabihi, kutubihi, and to believe in the books. And rasulihi, rusulihi, his prophets, all of them. So Imam Siraj, why are you telling us we know that? I know you know that. But I think that there's a lesson for us to learn. And this is the lesson, inshallah. لا تكونوا كالذين نسوا الله فأنساهم أنفسهم. I know that every one of you, if you're like me, I can't imagine not being Muslim. I can't see any scenario where I'm not a Muslim. I can't. I imagine you the same way. But I know for a fact that there are people that I know that used to practice Islam, they don't practice anymore. Maybe you know some of them. Maybe you know some used to be Muslim. I was in the Reagan airport a few years ago during the month of Ramadan. And I'm sitting down at my gate reading the Quran. And a man comes and stands next to me and says, is that the Quran you're reading? I said, yes. He said, I used to read the Quran. I said, okay, and I'm still reading my Quran. He said, is this the month of Ramadan? I said, yes. He said, are you fasting? I said, yes. He said, I used to fast. By the way, for me, this is my 48th year of fasting. I don't know about you, Jahari. My 48th year of fasting, and I did the calculation, over 87,000 salats. Most of you, this is nothing. This is what you do, alhamdulillah. For me, a new Muslim, so then the man said, you Muslim? I said, yes. He said, I used to be Muslim. So then I closed my Quran and I started talking to him to engage him. Maybe I can talk to him. Say, what happened? He said, I became angry at Allah. You became angry at Allah? He said, yes. So we kept on speaking until they started boarding my flight. So I got up. I said, you know, I have to go. They're boarding my flight. He says, I work here, and that plane can't go until I tell it to go sit down. I said, yes, sir. And I sat down, but why? I was hoping somehow that I can talk to him, say something to him to bring him back to Islam. Allah knows best whether he will come back to Islam. But why am I saying this? We feel pretty good about ourselves, we Muslims. I imagine none of us here can think about leaving Islam. But the fact of the matter is that many will. Why? Because he, alayhi salatu wasalam, said, you will follow. You will. Those who came before you step by step and inch by inch, so that if they crawled in the hole of a lizard, you follow right behind them. I want to close this khutbah, this part of the khutbah, with some reality. United Kingdom in 1900 had territory 11 million square miles. 11 million. It was so great that the British used to brag that the sun never set on the British Empire. 24 time zones. 390 million people. United Kingdom, greatest nation on earth. But what is it now? You know, United States have 50 states. One of them, Texas, is almost 3 times bigger than United Kingdom. What happened to you? What happened to the United Kingdom? Since 1960. Now, what I'm going to say to you, you're going to say, Imam Siraj, you're making it up. I'm not making it up. You can check me. Fact check. Since 1960, 15,000 churches have been closed in the United Kingdom. 15,000. How many masjids do we know closed? I know one. All these years, I know one in Harlem. Imam told me, a small masjid, handful of people. They say, Imam, we're going to close the masjid. I said, no, Imam, you can't close the masjid. No, you can't close. How you close the masjid? I can't conceive of closing the masjid. He said, yeah, Imam, we're going to have to close the masjid. And I tried to talk him out of it. So that's the one masjid that I know that's been closed. I pray Allah, we continue to build more masjids and no masjid be closed. So I'm in Scotland and we're driving down Main Street and we stop at a light. And I noticed across the street was a big church, 1 o'clock on Saturday, and people were going in the church. And I said to my driver, I said, brother, what denomination is that Saturday, 1 o'clock going to the church? He said, Imam, that's not a church. It's a pub. A pub is a place where they sell alcohol. He said there's a law in the United Kingdom that if you build something as a church, you can never change the structure. You can put whatever you want there, but you can't change the structure. And as we were driving down Main Street, he said, and that's not a church. And that's not a church, and that's not a church, and that's not a church. What happened? لا تكونوا كالذين نسوا الله فأنساهم أنفسهم. Do not be like those who forgot Allah, and therefore Allah caused them to forget themselves. Allah is warning us, those who came before you, do not forget Allah. Walhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I ask Allah the Almighty to help us, to guide us on Surat al-Mustaqim. Don't you tell me how you were born, tell me how you died. La tamutuna illa wa antum muslimun. Don't die. Don't die except as a Muslim. Don't tell me how you were born. إنما الأعمال بالخواتيم. The Prophet said, your deeds shall be judged by your last deeds. I'll leave you with this. The Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, said that one of you will do the deeds of the people of Jannah. Hatta. Until they're that close to Jannah. All those years of prayer, all those years of fasting, all those years of giving, you did it. You did it. And then they will do the deeds of the people, and then they will begin to do the deeds of the people of hellfire, and then they enter into it. Do you know that every once in a while the people in Jannah will look down at the people of the hellfire and they can see them, and the people in hellfire can see the people in Jannah, and they have conversations? Let me give you one example. The unbeliever asks the question, ما سلككم في سقر? Why are you in the hellfire? قالوا لم نكن من المصلين. We are not those who used to make salat. What? What? Are you serious? When the Prophet ﷺ went to the heavens to receive the commandment of Allah, what did Allah tell him? How many prayers to make? 50 prayers. فَرَجُتُ بِذَلِكَ حَتَّى مَرَاتُ عَلَى مُوسَى. 50 prayers! And the Prophet then said, oh, that's too much. But the fix was in. He ran into Musa. What did Allah order your community to do? 50 prayers. Go back. Your ummah won't be able to do that. So the Prophet Musa's experience, Muawiyah said, La hakima la du tajibah, there's no real wisdom without experience. Musa had the experience. Your ummah can't do no 50 prayers. So they go back and forth until it's 5, and Allah said it's 5, but it'll be 50. You get the reward of 50. Number 2, hadith, Muslim hadith, volume number 1, Kitab al-Iman. Some Muslims will look in the hellfire and they will recognize some people in the hellfire. رَبَّنَا إِخْوَانُنَا كَنَّا يُصَلُّونَ مَعَنَا. Oh Allah, our brothers in the hellfire. They used to pray with us, they made hajj with us, they fasted with us. So I'm thinking Allah's going to say, I don't want to put them there. I know why I put them there. You don't know. You don't know what they did. You don't know what they did. All those years of fasting, all those years of salah, you don't know what they did. And none of us should feel like I'm safe, I'm good. You're not good until you die. Don't tell me how you born. Tell me how you die. So Allah will say, take out of the hellfire those whom you recognize. That's it. Because the love that we have for one another, take out of the hellfire those whom you recognize. So, on the other hand, there are some people who do the deeds of the people of hellfire. All you got to do is look around the world today. Look how many people are murdering people. They're this close to the hellfire. And you know what happened? They take Shahada. They become Muslim and then enter the Jannah. Can I close with this hadith? You know, I used to see this hadith and I used to think about it, right? And Aisha radiallahu anha, al-Mu'mineen, Ummi Abdullah. From Aisha, the mother of the faithful. Why? Because she's the wife of the Prophet. Their wives are our mothers. But how she be the mother of Abdullah? Abdullah. Aisha never had children. Who's Abdullah? Abdullah is the son of her sister Asma. And she treated him like a son. So Imam, why is that significant? I'm going to say something that some of you are going to get mad at me. Some of you may say, Imam, you crazy, you exaggerating. Abdullah was the first Muslim born in the Ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Maybe you missed what I said. Abdullah was the first Muslim born in Islam. Name them. The Prophet ﷺ, one hadith, he mentioned 10 Sahaba in Jannah. Abu Bakr fil Jannah, Umar fil Jannah, Uthman fil Jannah, Ali fil Jannah, Abdul Rahman. He mentioned 10 Sahaba. None of them were born in the faith of Islam. Don't tell me how you born. Tell me how you die. La tamutuna illa wa antum muslimun. So I close with this. The Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, was a mubashir. He's a giver of good news, but he's also a nadhir. He's also a warner. And I'm saying, as our brothers to one another, please make sure, number one, that we remain Muslim. Number two, our families. The ummah, as much as we can. So I close with this, inshallah. After the khutbah, I'm going to ask you to stay here for just a couple of minutes. I was invited by the administration here at Al-Hijrah. This is a magnificent masjid. Not only are they great, the work that they do, the programs that they have, the knowledge that they disseminate, but also they help other masjids. They knew that Masjid Taqwa in Brooklyn was trying to build our masjid, tear it down and build up a big complex. So the administration said, Imam Saraz, we want you to come here at Al-Hijrah, give khutbah, and raise money for your masjid. People know me. I raise money for every masjid, every Muslim school, but I don't do it for myself, my masjid. I'm too shy to ask. That's when I saw my good friend Imam Johari. He ain't afraid to ask nothing, nowhere. He can't wait to ask for money. So inshallah, after the khutbah, if you can remain just maybe 3 minutes or 4 minutes, enough to hear the project of our masjid. When we started, a handful of Muslims. Alhamdulillah, now we have over 1,000. Alhamdulillah. We started just, I think, 25 of us, all African Americans, in the heart of Brooklyn, Bedford-Stuyvesant. But if you see the video, they may show the video, maybe they won't. You will see our community now. We had an Eid prayer. The masjid was filled, and outside you see rows and rows of people because we can't fit in the masjid. Now maybe the African Americans in my masjid, maybe 20%. 39 different nationalities in our masjid, alhamdulillah, for the service of mankind. So if you want to help us to build the masjid, we're going to tear it down and build up 8 stories, inshallah. We have the architect, we have the lawyers, we have all of that, inshallah. So we're asking, because they told me, they ordered me to come to give khutbah, and then ask you, they said that you are very generous. I can go to any one of you and just say like that. I can look at you and say, okay, this is what I want, and you give it, inshallah. He said yes. He really said yes. Jahari, he said yes. So again, I want to thank you and for inviting us again. Jazakallah khairah. We ask Allah the Almighty to accept from us all of the ibadat that we do. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا نسينا أطعنا. ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إسرا كما حملت الذين من قبلنا. ربنا لا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واغفر عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. إقامة الصلاة.